While the man was urinating, he noticed something unusual. He saw something shining nearby. After removing some sand, he thought it might be a piece of gold. He looked toward his friend and after some hesitation decided to call him. His friend came and carefully examined the shiny stone. He took out a lighter and tried to burn it. After a while, the stone started melting, but its color didn't change. They guessed that it could be pure gold, something extremely valuable. Excited by this sudden discovery, they started digging without any second thought. They dug a pit about 4 meters deep, but they couldn't find the rest of the gold. Then they tied a rope around the gold piece and used a car to pull it. The rope broke twice, but the gold piece didn't even budge. They decided to dig deeper. After digging another half meter, they realized it wasn't just a small piece, but possibly a huge deposit of gold. As darkness began to fall, they quickly gathered wood and lit a fire. They were thrilled at the thought of guarding such a valuable treasure. However, the problem was how to extract such a large piece of gold. One friend suggested that someone should go to the city to bring help for digging, while the other stayed back to guard the gold. But trust became a significant issue in the face of such a massive treasure. Mike, in a cold tone, said he wouldn't let the other stay alone. After all, he was the one who discovered the gold. The friend reluctantly agreed and let Mike stay. The next morning, they shared food and water. The friend made an excuse that the car engine needed water to cool down and took most of the water with him. He left Mike with just a satellite phone saying he would stay in touch. Once the car was out of sight, Mike covered the gold with sand and then concealed it further with a cloth. The next day, while exploring the area for supplies, he found the wreckage of an airplane. The wreckage was a perfect shelter, offering protection from wild animals. However, another problem arose. He couldn't keep an eye on the gold from there. This made Mike feel uneasy. He dismantled some parts of the airplane and dragged them closer to the gold. Using these parts, he built a tent with a glass window so he could keep the gold in sight. The intense sunlight burned his forehead badly while he was asleep, leaving blisters. He picked up a small stone and managed to extract a tiny piece of gold. But compared to the larger treasure, this piece was no more significant than a small bell. Suddenly, his friend called on the satellite phone, urging him to stay patient and wait. The issue was that Mike's skin was already burned and his remaining food and water were nearly depleted. Then he spotted a snake in the distance. He jumped at it, but not only did he fail to catch it, he also spilled his last drop of water. The situation worsened. The next day, Mike went back to the plane wreckage to retrieve some documents. That's when he saw an ugly-looking woman approaching him. Mike quickly and cautiously hid the gold. The woman wandered around and asked him what he was doing there. To avoid raising suspicion, Mike pretended to be a poor gardener. He even refused the food offered by the woman.